I started to create who I was. And within 3 months, it was just this rapid. I just was out of bed within 3 months. I was in Sydney hanging out with my friends, and life just started to flow again.
Hey guys, welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I am your host. My name is Karolina, and I am the Connection Catalyst. I help spiritual entrepreneurs experience deeper connection with themselves, with others, and with the universe. Today on the show, we have Alison Godbier, a certified PSYCH-K Facilitator, yoga and meditation teacher, and also teacher of presence. Welcome to the show, Alison. How are you doing?
Thank you, gorgeous. I'm really, really well. Really well. Yes. How are you?
I am feeling super good, although, I just, I'm feeling good because I was laughing at myself that I sent you the link. I sent you the email without the link, and I was supposed to send you the link. There was a whole purpose of sending you the email, and then I didn't even put the link there. So this situation made me just laugh so much that now I'm just feeling super funny in this very joyful mood. This is how we started our conversation. So I'm feeling super, super good. And I'm also super excited to talk to you because, as I mentioned to you before we started the call, I already had PSYCH-K facilitators on the podcast, but none of them actually explained this method and how it works exactly and how it can rewire your brain and what is happening when we do these processes, right? I was just maybe talking about the benefits and generally how it works, but not in detail. And I would really love to talk to you about that. But before we do that, I would love to know how this whole journey has started for you with healing, with yoga, with meditation. Was there a specific thing that happened in your life that made you aware of these things, or how did your journey start?
Beautiful question. Thank you so much. So I was really, really fortunate to grow up with yoga in my life from day one. So my mum is a yoga teacher. I was really, 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 really lucky. I look at my life and I've
Lucky
had,
you.
yes, very, very lucky. And I've had yoga, meditation, yoga nidra throughout my whole entire life, but also working with the philosophies of yoga and how to live compassionately and out of respect for all beings on this planet. I look to my mum as such an angel. She really guided me so beautifully on this earth, and no expectations of who I was meant to be. She just allowed me to be whoever I needed to be in every moment, in every stage of my life. So this was a really beautiful foundation to grow up in, and I believe is why I have such a deep understanding of spirituality and presence and just being and experiencing life through the self. And so that was what got me on my journey. And I feel the catalyst for, I think, really catapulted me into this self-healing journey and to find PSYCH-K was I I ended up getting a mosquito virus and being in bed for roughly around 3 years. So I experienced a very, very bad illness. So it gave me chronic fatigue, rheumatoid arthritis, viral rheumatoid arthritis, migraine headaches, and I basically couldn't move my body for about 2.5 years. It was really hard to get around. I basically slept for that entire time. Most days I couldn't read, I couldn't do anything but listen to music, and most of the time I couldn't even watch movies or anything like that because I just didn't have the mental energy to process and even stay focused. So I believe that this was that point in
Wow.
time. Yes, this is that point in time where I started to really just be with myself. I started to understand the behaviors of my mind, the egoic mind, and just the stories and narratives that it would start to play out. And that presence, that bringing back to present moment awareness was where I found my freedom in that space, in that time in my life. So I started to really practice And I know my mum said the whole entire time she didn't even hear me complain once. I didn't even go down that story of why me, why is this happening, all of those narratives. I really, really tried to look at it as a blessing in disguise. And that was where I really, really started to cultivate that present moment awareness in my life. And it wasn't until about 6 months before I really healed from the illness that I found Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And I started to really get into mirror work, and then I started to really understand that it was just my mind that was keeping me in bed. It wasn't the illness itself, it was my mind that was keeping me in bed. And so I started to just create, and I came to this point just within my own realization. I hadn't really read about it as such, but I started to create an environment inside of my mind where I was 100% healthy, fit, happy, and living out in the real world. And I lived in that reality within my mind every moment of the day. I just tried to go back there. What would it feel like if I was out hanging out with my friends again, working, just being in the real world, not sick at home in bed? And I started to create who I was. And within 3 months, it was just this rapid, I just was out of bed within 3 months. I was in Sydney hanging out with my friends, and life just started to flow again. And I got my health back.
3 months. It took you 3 months. That's
Yeah,
really
it was.
fast. Oh
Yes, it
my
was really
God.
fast. So I was doing meditation, I was focusing on that reality in my head, and I was doing mirror work. So the mirror work was allowing me to see through my own story narratives where I was holding stagnant energy, emotion, trauma in the body. And I believe that it was living in that reality that really just catapulted me into living that reality rather than being in the reality that I was when I was sick. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of led me on my journey to then finding PSYCH-K, who I found through a beautiful friend of mine, Jacob. I believe you've had him on your podcast, Jacob Casella. He got
Yes.
me into PSYCH-K.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah, and I remember having
That
one session with him, and I drove home. I was feeling very elated, so much potential, just feeling like this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is how I'm meant to be helping people and guiding people through this modality. I just felt so passionate towards it. I'm sure you felt exactly the same when you found PSYCH-K.
Oh my God,
Uh,
exactly the same. I'm just like so excited about this.
yeah, yes. And so I
Wow.
drove home that afternoon and I looked online, where can I do my first PSYCH-K course? And it was in a week from then. So I just signed up to the course, and then a week later I was in the PSYCH-K basic workshop. Yeah.
This is amazing. And where did you do your
Mm.
workshop? Did you do it with Ian or with Rosie?
With Ian. Yeah, I did it with Ian. I feel very
Oh, me
blessed to
too.
have
Me
done
too.
it.
I love Ian.
Yes.
Ian Spicer is
Yes.
such a beautiful psyche teacher. If any of you guys is interested, he teaches in Australia, and sometimes before COVID he was teaching also in London because I've done the London workshop with him. But Ian is such a
Yeah.
sweetheart, such a beautiful, joyful, youthful energy. Oh, I'm so glad we had the same teacher because yeah, he's just so
Yes.
beautiful. But this is a very, very inspiring story. Thank you so much for sharing. I feel like to all these people who are struggling with any kind of chronic illness or ailment or disease,
Mm,
it's such an inspiring thing to share because in pretty
mm,
much 100 days, let's say, you can get
mm,
yourself from being in bed and being in very, very bad mindset and body and everything, right, to being
mm.
completely good. And it's so,
Yes.
so great that you were able to hold this vision, to not get your mind chatter just tell you however your reality is, but you were able to be strong enough to hold the what you wanted, what you desired, rather than what you saw in your reality. And I think this is where people have the biggest problem, right? Where they really want to visualize things, but they have some doubt or hesitation or lack of trust that it is actually going to happen. And I feel
Mm,
like it's really so inspiring to hear that you were just holding the vision and you were able to create and manifest the reality that you wanted. But I feel like it also stemmed from your background where you knew that you
mm,
can do it, right? Because I feel like
yes.
it's so hard for a, let's say, regular person to actually believe that it's possible. And I feel like
Mm,
thanks to your background as well, knowing that there's spirituality, higher realms, that we can actually create our life as we want it, you're probably stronger in this vision than most of the
yeah.
people would be, right? Because
Mm,
yeah, it's just there's always this internal doubt, like, is it actually going to happen? And before you have some kind of evidence in your reality, it's hard, I think, to hold the vision of what you want to experience instead of the reality. And I feel you completely, because I've been also working on my digestive system. Right now I feel great, but I've for 1.5 year maybe I've been really in pain, and working through emotional
mm,
stuff and PSYCH-K and all these different things, supplements and cleanses and detoxes, fasting. And now I feel like it's been actually such a big gift to experience it all,
yeah.
because although it was, I had to go through my victim mentality and through my emotions and fears and powerlessness and whatever it was. But now that I am out of it and all these feelings are out of my body, I feel amazing, better than ever. And I feel like healthier than even before I had these physical symptoms.
Mm,
So it's actually great what happens to us, although I'm sure that it wasn't that easy for you either when you were just in bed.
mm.
And it sounds horrible, to be honest, to be in
Yeah.
this state. But yeah, that's why now you can be a teacher of presence, right? Because you know all about presence, because you had to be present with your body, present with your mind,
Mm,
present with your feelings,
yeah.
present with anything any element that was present within you. So tell us a little bit about presence then, because I'm curious on how you
Mm,
see presence, and maybe how could someone that has the mind chattering and telling them stuff all the freaking time, which is most of the people, how this person could get to this presence and connect to themselves and just be.
just be, yeah. And that's such a beautiful question as well. And I believe that we all find it so hard. And don't get me wrong, I still have those moments where I'm taken away within the mind. You start to float away with the mind, and the ego starts to pull you in, and it's very enticing. And then what I love to do is just to pull myself back into present moment awareness. And there are so many ways that you can pull yourself back into present moment awareness, being that through the breath, bringing yourself back in and just taking a few deep breaths and just letting it out and just experiencing how that feels in the body. A beautiful thing that I like to do, and I like to get my clients to do, is just bring awareness into the breath and then just start to focus on your hands and start to contemplate our existence, right? So, and it's really funny because you've got these beautiful hands in front of you, and you start to experience the trillions of cells that we have in our body that are vibrating at such a high frequency, that are even the cells in our hands working with all of our systems to create homeostasis and regulation in the body. And so I like to bring awareness into the body. So bringing awareness back, maybe even just hand on your
Mhm.
heart and just experiencing the heart, or expressing gratitude for the heartbeat. And another beautiful practice to bring us back into present moment awareness is in our gratitude, in our daily gratitude practices. If we don't express gratitude just for being here right now in the present moment, then I feel like we're really missing something here, because expressing gratitude is such a beautiful and healing thing that really drops us into awareness, into compassion, into humility, happiness, joy, all of these beautiful things that we can feel. But we usually express gratitude for the external. So I'm so grateful to be here in this beautiful space. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for materialistic things that might help me grow, maybe even breathwork, yoga, different types of modalities that help us heal. But what I like to do and what I like to teach my clients is Wake up in the morning and just sit with yourself and express gratitude for this moment right now. And you can start to feel that power and that channel, that divine channel that is open and that's available to us in every moment. We start to feel that it's so powerful. I don't even know if you could feel that just then, but it's this beautiful vibration that starts to open up in your field because you're just in that sense of being, because you're actually experiencing presence. And that is a beautiful practice that everyone can do every day. And it will only take 30 seconds or however long you want it to take. It's not a step 1, 2, 3, and 5. It's just being here and expressing gratitude for being here and having that understanding that every single time we go back to that moment, that's the only moment that exists. So it makes sense for us to really feed that energy into that present moment and just accept what is and just be in a state of neutrality. And that is why I love PSYCH-K, because it always brings us back to that neutral state of being, that non-reactivity. It allows us to process experiences by activating both hemispheres of the brain, and then we are able to see things clearly without having that emotional charge towards a certain experience.
Yeah. Oh my God. I freaking loved everything you said. And I even dropped in for a moment. And I was really grateful for this moment that I'm just listening to you, and you have such a beautiful energy and bringing this beautiful vibe. So I was just like, yeah, my channel to the divine is open now. I can feel it listening to this beautiful person speaking now. So thank you. It's been really a pleasant experience to focus on this gratitude here and now. And so I
Yeah.
am really curious to know, how did this illness that you had and your state of body and mind at that moment, how did it bring you to this present? And did you struggle to be present at the beginning, and then you just kind of like, okay, I let go, I just surrender to what is? Or how did this process happen for you that you now are so beautifully teaching it and knowing it on a deep level because you've experienced this presence, right?
Mm. Yeah, it was really hard. I want everyone to know that it was very, very hard. And the reason it was so hard was I believe even just everyone on a normal day feeling their best, we don't experience presence. We're not even taught to experience presence. What we're taught is to focus on the projections of the
Yep.
future, who and how we want to be in the future, where we're taught to fixate on the historical parts of ourselves, so the historical parts of our personality, our experiences, to let them take over us, to be in that state of, I think, just fixating on the things that have happened to us rather than forgiving, processing, accepting, and moving forward, and just focusing on being present within every moment. And so it was quite difficult for me, but because I had such a huge amount of time to work with this, and it was a blessing in disguise, because this is what I was meant to be doing. Yeah, this is how I was meant to be in the world. And it's really allowed me to focus, to drop in and calm my energy down and be grounded and all of this. So it was such a blessing in disguise. But I did have my moments where maybe I wasn't practicing it. I felt like it was going to go forever. I felt like 2 years and I'm going into year 3. How am I going to move over this? But I believe it's getting to that point of deep suffering, getting to that point of feeling helpless, of feeling desperate for change, is where that it's the lotus flower starts to blossom from the mud. I believe that I was just really, really hanging out in that murky, muddy water, And it was only through deep suffering, internal deep suffering, and that helplessness that I really, and that desperation, that I really started to wake up and think, hey, if I don't do something about this, I could be here for another year, 2, 3 years. I could be here for another 3 years. I need to start creating a different reality inside of my mind, because no one else can help me out of this. I am the only person that can bring myself out of this. I choose what happens in my life. I choose how I am in the world. I choose how I react to every experience, to every person. It is my choice, because it all starts internal. So if I can start to just overcome this in a really beautiful, accepting way through presence, rather than reacting to it and just feeling helpless, then that's when the change is rapid. That's when, like I said, I spent 2.5 years in bed, and then within 3 months I was out of bed. I didn't realize that I thought this thing was happening to me, and I didn't realize that I could just change it. And we aren't taught that. I, thankfully enough, was taught that I had the power to be anything that I wanted to be, that I had these fundamentals as a child, because my mum taught me this, but still it didn't really trigger until I had that moment of deep suffering, that desperation to change, to want more in life. And I believe we all have to get to these points where we feel desperate to change, that we just don't want this for our lives anymore, that we're suffering so deeply that we realize the only person that can change us is ourselves. And that is that catalyst moment that just really just lifts us out of that suffering and into that awakened state.
Wow. Yeah, this is so true because I feel like almost, or maybe even every person that I had on this podcast, every healer and coach and whatever, has gone through some massive suffering before they realize, oh,
Yes,
now that I've healed this, I can help others heal it too and bring this medicine to other people.
yes.
And so there is always a polarity in our life, right? There is always something that
Mm-hmm.
is bad, quote unquote, that happens that then
Yes.
can bring us back to the beauty of it, right? We need to know
Mm,
the polarity. We need to know the negative in order to be positive. We need to suffer in order to really appreciate the moment that we have right now. Because the suffering, if we
yeah.
are in physical pain, and I was there too, maybe not as extreme as you, I suppose, but I was also waking up every single day with the pain either in my stomach or my intestines, and I was just sick of it, literally. And this feeling
Yeah.
of sick of it was also probably one of the feelings I had to release, right? Because yeah, I was just sick
Yes.
of it. But now that I've gone through it and I can feel so healthy, is just, as you said, a blessing is in disguise. And so to all the people who are now suffering, to all of you who listen and you're suffering, know that this is there to inspire you to change something in your life. Because if you don't change
Mm,
anything, nothing will change, right? So treat it as a wake up
yes.
call. Treat it as Alison
Mm-hmm.
treated it. You know, at some point, you just need to
Mm,
look at yourself and be like, okay, what can I do to make it different? Because if you cannot handle how it
yes.
is, and everyone, you know, discovers it at a different point in life, where they cannot handle
Yes.
what is, and then this state, as you said, of desperation can actually get you up and do something else or visualize what you actually want rather than focusing on what is bad about your life. So this is just an inspiring
Mm.
message from me and Alison to all of you guys to really see beyond what you're experiencing right now,
Yeah.
to see beyond, because
Yeah.
we are far greater than what our mind thinks that we are. We can create
Mm.
anything we in life we want. And that brings me to another topic, which is Psych-K, because Psych-K helps us really create what we want, like literally everything, which is beautiful. And I would
Yes.
really love to talk about Psyche in terms of like, how does it even work and why it is so cool? Why are we so excited? And you know, to share this with people. So I would love to ask you to tell everyone, like, how does it even work, that this, you know, these processes of Psyche are so quick and so effective and so awesome.
Yes, I love that. And I love that every person that facilitates PSYCH-K is so obsessed with it. Ian and I laugh because I just became absolutely obsessed with it. And you seem like you were exactly the same state around it. It's just such a
Exactly.
beautiful gift in life. It's such a gift. And it's so simple and it's so effective. And what I like is so many people that come to me that are a bit skeptical or hesitant to try PSYCH-K, they have this idea around PSYCH-K that it's this real woo woo. They're like quite complex, but mostly woo woo. And then they do a balance, and it's maybe 1.5 minutes, and then they're done, and they're, oh, that was really amazing. Oh, I feel a shift. Oh, that wasn't woo woo at all. That was really straightforward and simple. So,
Yep.
the way that I explain it is simply is when we're experiencing a traumatic experience in life, when we are feeling very stressed, or we do actually go through a trauma, we reside that memory in a dominant side of our brain. So each time we're triggered, that we're only processing this trauma through the characteristics of one side of the brain. So we're unable to completely process it in a whole brain state. We're unable to completely process this because we're only trying to process it with just these certain characteristics, where we're needing this side to link up so that we can process with all the characteristics of the right and left hemisphere of the brain. So what PSYCH-K enables us to do is we're doing simple postures and exercises to stimulate or activate the right and the left hemisphere of the brain so that we become whole brained. So we're operating in a whole brain state. And I think it's Bruce Lipton that describes that as being in a state of super learning. So when we're in a whole brain state, we're in a state of super learning. So we're able to process experiences, stress, emotion, limitations in our lives. We're able to process these quite quickly. And then it's almost as if the nervous system just completely resets. You've experienced these shifts. It's like the stress, we have so much emotional charge to this experience, to this memory. And then we create a whole brain state, and then you feel the stress just leaving the body, and it's so fast, and you often start to feel a bit tired or so relaxed because your body has finally processed the experience, because right and left hemispheres are firing, and you're in a whole brain state, which removes all stress from the nervous system and the body, and then you're just feeling completely calm. And then when we think about this experience again, there's no emotional charge to this experience anymore because we've actually processed it within the brain. We've used all characteristics to process this trauma or experience.
This is a beautiful explanation. I couldn't put it better. And yeah, it's really exciting to me. I think the most exciting thing about it is that it's so quick. It's like, how the
So
hell can you
quick.
process a belief in a few minutes? It's like, or a trauma,
Yes.
a traumatic event in a few minutes, or it depends on also on the person and how much of this emotional charge you're storing. But pretty much in one session, you can do so much. You can bring so many shifts in your mind, and I love it because I'm a very quick person, super intense and quick, and I like to boom, boom, boom changes in my life. That's why I'm using PSYCH-K
Mm,
on a daily basis. I mean, anytime something triggers me,
yes.
I'm pretty much using it straight away because, like, why wait if I can heal myself for here and now, right? And so has been really a
Exactly.
beautiful journey knowing this tool, and I feel like I really love talking about it because not many people, I think not enough people, know it yet. And this is the method that
Yeah.
was straight up channeled by Rob Williams. He channeled the whole
Mm,
thing. So it's not like
mm,
someone just created it. based on the scientific, it's straight from ancient civilizations, as he says, channeled to him, so
Mm,
that now we can have this beautiful method, and it only requires muscle testing and some postures and movements of the body. It doesn't really require much from you to be able to do this.
no.
So yeah, I'm just such a big
Mm.
big lover of this method. It's my absolute favorite of all of them, because it's also, I found, the most pleasant, because you don't have to actually
Yes.
feel, because I use other methods of healing as well, in which, like, I do shadow work and inner child healing and trauma release, and in these methods sometimes you need to really re-experience all the shit you've experienced back then, and these methods can be
Yes.
very powerful too, and I love using them. But what I love about Psyche is that it's really pleasant in comparison to some other things
Mm,
that you do. It can change a
yes.
lot, and it's not that traumatic or not that hard to go through. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving the Psyche, and I'm so glad I found a fellow excited Psyche facilitator.
Yes, I am so excited.
This is so
I
good.
feel so
And
excited every day about it. I'm the same. If I feel any sort of block or stress in my system, anything, I just sit down and do a balance straight away, and then I'm not feeling like that. So why wouldn't you? We often just go days, we feel stress, and then we feel stress for that day, and then we take it into the next day, and then we take it into the next day, and then it becomes that week, and sometimes it becomes that month, and we're still stressed about this one thing that happened a few weeks ago or a month ago. And it just doesn't make sense to me to take that into any moment. We want the present moment to be as deep, as clear, and as present as possible. So if we have this modality that we can just shift stress, anything that's stress, causing stress in the body, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, if we can shift that out of the body straight away, then we are being more attuned to the present moment. And that's why I love it so much, because it's enabling me to be present more, because I'm not fixating on things that stressed me out yesterday. And I'm not worried about, I'm not projecting into the future and worried about what my future is going to be like, because in reality, the future doesn't exist. It will never exist. And this is something that was so profound for me to realize, is never in our lives, ever, 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 will we ever experience the future. It does not exist. The only thing that exists is right now. And we have to become familiar with really tapping into that energy of now, of presence. And that is just, yeah, that's what Psyche allows me to do.
oh my God, this is amazing. I love everything you share, and I can really feel when you say it, I can really feel what you mean, because you've really experienced it.
Mm.
You're, really being, you're really being present. I can really feel it. So that's really beautiful. And I recommend to anyone who listens to go and get this medicine from Alison, because she's really walking her talk. I can feel that. And I hope
Thank
you guys
you.
can feel it as well.
Thank you so
It's
much. That's
beautiful. And I'm actually super surprised, because I saw on your Instagram that Nat Kelly was promoting Psych K with you as well. And I was just, whoa, my favorite
yes.
actor from the Dynasty is using Psych K as well. I'm like, I was really, really surprised, because she was always my favorite actor from Dynasty. I always liked her, and she was the best crystal for me from all the crystals that were there. uh, I just really loved her the most. I was like, oh my God, she's promoting Psych K as well. I freaking love her now even more, because we are
Yes.
vibing on this Psych K level,
Mm,
we're resonating. And yeah, so that was really beautiful
yeah.
to see that, that you have helped her, and that she was utilizing this beautiful method on her journey. And I feel like this method can help
Mm,
really anyone. So we are here to tell you guys that if you haven't tried it, come for a session with us or with any other facilitator in your town. Just try
mm-hmm,
it out, because it can really change your life. And for all the people who love working
mm,
with other people, this method is one of the most powerful methods I've ever encountered. And I'm like super serious about this. And so for
yeah.
anyone who is interested, check this out, guys, because there is a reason behind why everyone is speaking so highly of it, and Bruce Lipton is writing in his book about this, and Nat is promoting it, and we are promoting it. So check it out, guys.
Yes,
Seriously, it's worth it. It's really worth it. And
it's
so
so
I
worth
would love
it.
to circle back to yoga nidra, because I am a yogi, a little bit, a hobby yogi. I do yoga a few times a
Yeah,
week, but I do vinyasa yoga, and I've tried kundalini yoga, but I don't know much
yeah.
about yoga nidra, to be honest. So I would be curious to
Uh-huh.
hear, what is this specific yoga? Like, what is it based on, or how is it different from other yoga styles?
Beautiful. I love this question as well. Thank you so much for asking. Because Yoga Nidra, as well as Psyche, is almost quite underground. It's something that a certain group of people know of, and most people don't know what they are at all. So, Yoga Nidra, Nidra actually means sleep. Nidra means sleep. So, it is a form of relaxation therapy, or a form of pratyahar, which means sensory withdrawal. So, what we're doing is we're not going through a set of asana where I'm allowing people to lay on the floor or in their beds. And I basically, in a nutshell, just take them through an hour-long guided meditation. And this meditation goes through a series of steps to really bring them into a deep state of rest where they're able to do subconscious reprogramming. So I believe it's almost like an old school way of subconscious reprogramming. And when you're in that deep state, you're able to process everything that's being said. So it's not really hypnosis, because we're more focusing on the body relaxing, relaxing the nervous system, and for the people that are experiencing Yoga Nidra to just allow their bodies to reset and nourish and come back being more vibrant and vitalic. So it's like having a coffee in the middle of the day. So I like to use Yoga Nidra as my coffee because I don't drink coffee. So I like to use it as, in the
Me
middle of the
neither.
day when I'm seeing clients, I will just go and do a 20-minute Yoga Nidra, and I will come back feeling so just alive, revived, nourished, and ready for my afternoon. And I kind of went off topic there. There's so much to talk about. I get very excited when I talk about Yoga Nidra, but it really is just a process that we go through of sensory withdrawal. So we're just taking you deeper and deeper and deeper into the subconscious mind, and so that your body is sleeping, but your mind stays active. So it's about the body receiving deep rest, but guiding the consciousness or the mind, because the mind never sleeps. We don't sleep to rest the mind. The consciousness is always active, but our body needs to sleep. It needs that rest. So what Yoga Nidra does is it allows the body to experience deep rest while we're almost taking the consciousness or the mind on this beautiful journey so that it remains distracted so that the body can experience deep rest. That's basically what it is in a nutshell.
That sounds amazing. That sounds freaking amazing. And to everyone who's
Mm.
trying to quit coffee for a while, maybe you can have a behavior instead. Because always when you try to quit something, you better find something, that you exchange
Yeah,
for. Like, for example, if you drink coffee,
absolutely.
then you might drink a tea instead. Or if you quit cigarettes, then you might do
Mm.
some breathing. So for anyone who wants to quit coffee, you can start drinking cacao and doing yoga nidra, and you're gonna be fine, just fine. Just do a cacao
Yes,
ceremony
yes.
every morning instead.
Yes,
I'm
I
just
love
really in
that.
the vibe of it, because yesterday I was running a cacao ceremony and heart opening ceremony yesterday, so I'm just really in this vibe, like, yeah, let's use cacao as the
Mm,
medicine. But yeah,
I
thank you
love
so much for
cacao.
sharing about yoga nidra. I've never really
Yeah.
tried it before, so it's really really interesting for me to know what it is right now, and now I'm even more curious about it, because yeah, I
Mm,
love trying new things and exploring new things. I have this curious mind, so I'm certainly gonna try now. And because I've only tried
Yes.
these few, I haven't tried Ashtanga yoga yet either, but I've heard that it's
Oh, that's
advanced,
hard.
and because people told me that it's advanced, I'm just like, if it's advanced, maybe it's not for me yet, because yeah, I already said to everyone, I had this really love-hate relationship with yoga for a really long time. So if someone tells me that the
Yes.
yoga is advanced, I'm like, I'm out of here then.
I
But
might leave
it
that for
depends on what
now.
kind of yoga it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly,
so
exactly. But yeah, yeah.
I was going to say as well, I have an online community where I do yoga nidra once or twice a month. And we also have spontaneous discussion. This is my favorite class of all. And I think I was just thinking you would love that. And anyone who's listening who wants to try yoga nidra, you can come on and you can try our live classes, and there's also all the recordings that I've ever done just stored in a yoga nidra library, so that you can just go and experience these yoga nidras in your own time, which is beautiful. Just if you've got an hour, maybe in the morning, midday, afternoon, at night, and just lay down and just go to heaven, basically. My clients call it a transformative nap. So it's so transformative. Deep healing can occur in these. Like I've had a lot of clients that have shifted through a lot of stagnant energy, trauma, just by noticing and bringing awareness and attention into parts of the body. So that deep healing can occur, and especially removing stagnant energy, transforming it, shifting through different layers, the energy centers, the chakras, all of this. When we're bringing attention and awareness into these parts of the body, we can actually heal. Because we move throughout our day without really having that awareness of our body and how beautiful our bodies are and what our bodies do for us every moment of the day and the reason why we're alive. And so this deep healing can occur in these moments because it's just we're bringing attention, awareness, love, gratitude, and focus into our body and all parts of our body. So I'd love for you to come on to the community, check it out, and come and do some yoga nidra, join our spontaneous discussion as well. Spontaneous discussion is a group of us just coming on, and I take you through a short little meditation, and then we just see what topics arise, and we discuss whatever is coming up in the present moment. So it's called being with truth and just being in the present moment and supporting each other through it. It's really, really beautiful.
This is so amazing because literally yesterday, a friend of mine that I met 2 days ago told me, "Yeah, these sharing circles," and I'm like, I only know the like women's circle or just a circle where
Yeah.
you just go through the healing. But he was no sharing circle where you just express what's present within you. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to try something like that when you just express what's true for you in this moment. And here you are
Mm.
telling me that this is what you're doing. And I was just calling it in. I was like, yeah, I would love to experience this, manifestation, instant manifestation, as I call it, in my life. Recently,
Yes.
everything is manifesting like that instantly. But yeah, it's so
Mm.
beautiful. Thank you for invitation. So where I was actually about to ask you about this community, because I would love to know where
Mm.
people can find you and your community. What's the easiest way to reach out to you?
Yeah, so I would say I use Instagram to a lot of my clients just message me on Instagram. It's a really easy way. And through Instagram, you can find my website. You can find the link to the Mighty Networks community where I have this community. It's called Satya Community. And Satya is a Sanskrit name for truth or truthfulness. And so this is what the community, my intention for this community is based on, is truthfulness, authenticity, humility, and just being with truth. And that was why I came up with the spontaneous discussions, is because at the basis of everything, I believe that if we focus on being present and in our truth, then that's where rapid healing can occur. And that's how we can heal those around us and we can heal the planet, is if we're just being in our truth. Yeah. So through Instagram, definitely.
Oh, yes, sister. Oh, yes. I seriously couldn't agree more. The truth will set us free. The authentic self expression, the full self expression of our emotions, whatever it is for us, the truth
Mm,
will really set us free. I really believe in it. Thank you
yeah.
so much for sharing all that. It's been an
Mm,
inspiring conversation for me, and I'm sure for all the listeners as well. And yeah, thank you so much for your beautiful energy and for your authenticity and your truth, because I really felt so inspired, especially with this theme of really healing yourself and holding the vision of who you want to be and how you want to live your life, no matter the circumstances around you. It's really beautiful and
mm.
really inspiring. So I honor you for that, and I'm really, yeah, just in awe how strong, how powerful you are, how beautiful you are, and how loving you are. It's just been so nice to chat to you. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing
Mm.
yourself with the world and with us.
Thank you so much. It's been such a joy to be. I can't believe how fast it's gone, but it's just been such a joy to be in this space with you and connect. And yeah, I hope this has been healing for you and for everyone who listens. I just really hope this brings that sense of presence, love, and healing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for listening to us. I'm just so energized right now with positivity and love after my chat with Alison. She's just such a beautiful person, and I hope that you really felt it as well. So, if you're curious to try PSYCH-K, you can contact her through Instagram. And also, if you would like to try it with me, I am the Connection Catalyst on Instagram. So find us, because truly PSYCH-K is amazing and we have a lot to offer you guys. So sending you much love and gratitude for listening to us. Stay tuned to the next episode.